everyone, you already know what it is. Another week, another plant vlog. Because when you have a lot of houseplants, the work is never done. Today is going to be a not so good plant vlog, not even gonna lie, because I am going to be trying to save my sad and dying houseplants that I tried to save from my propagation tank. So if you missed last week's, long story short, I found a whole bunch of spider mites in my propagation tank due to my own neglect, because I really did neglect that tank, and I treated the plants right then and there. It was midnight and I was freaking out, and then now all of my plants are really sad and really like on the verge of death, so we're gonna try to revive them and not cry. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely stick around. And if you're new, hello, I'm Marina, then this is my channel, Millennial Planter. I love to do weekly plant vlogs and also videos just covering plant care, plant tips, and sorts. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely hit the subscribe button, join the community. I welcome all generations, not just millennials. So let's get into this video and I'll show y'all my very, very sad plants. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with outside of my little makeshift bin is my jewel orchid. Like, what is this? She is so flimsy. It's just this one stalk. It's not these two. These two feel great, and she's not dry. She's maybe I accidentally rotted her. Oh goodness. Oh, that's so sad. She was doing so well. Look at those beautiful leaves. I'm annoyed. This Syngonium Red Arrow has never done well for me. These guys are kind of hard to propagate, I'm not even gonna lie. That one actually pretty much looks the same. This variegated Stanleyana, y'all already know I don't like this plant. I think this one is dry though, so maybe she just needs some water. Oops, sorry about that. And then in my tank here, my Amedrium pretty much looks the same. This is a propagation, and I recently did check on the roots, and it was pretty much rooted for me. It has one long root. It's not as established as I would like it to be, so I'm not potting it up yet. It's still in perlite. Probably gonna check the water level on that one. It is kind of getting burnt, but that's okay. It's just from the grow light. My Vericosum, this one, oof, not looking good at all. This one, I don't know if it's going through shock because I just potted it up. It probably is. I also probably need to up the humidity in this bin because I had left the top open. And then my luxuriance, like, what even is this? I'm holding on hope into that new growth. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It still looks good, but I'm not even going to cut these leaves off. I'm just going to leave them. I am going to unpot this and check the roots. Hopefully this is an okay angle. I'm so sad right now. I am really nervous to check this luxuriance. I'm actually kind of annoyed with myself. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know. I know that killing plants is normal, and obviously I don't ever shy from the fact that I kill plants, and I have killed plants, but a plant like that, I should have done better. I was nervous when I first bought the plant, and I don't know, it's just sometimes you just like kind of doubt yourself. I feel like I'm already 3 years into this, which I know isn't like that long, but I don't really consider myself like a noob. So I don't know, I just thought I would have been able to take care of the plant. Clearly I can't, but I'm not going to dwell on the negative too much. I'm just going to try to be positive and just put positive vibes and positive thoughts and good feelings and good healing feelings into this plant, because you're going to do well. Yes, you are. You're going to be an amazing plant one day, okay? Okay, we're gonna get through this. So now I just want to make sure that I didn't rot it, because look at this. The leaves are really droopy and they feel flimsy. They feel like they're thirsty. And to me, that's usually a sign that there is some sort of root rot, especially if the soil is moist. Obviously, if your plant feels like this and the soil is dry, then it's thirsty. But if it feels like this and the soil is wet, then it's probably some root rot going on, or maybe just some acclimation problems. I don't know, let's see. Well, the roots are actually pretty like well established. It's pretty well rooted, which I'm shocked. It's in a lot of moss. The one thing I hate about moss is that you can't tell the difference between a root and moss. So like you pull a piece of moss off and then you're like, oh crap, I broke a root, but it's just moss. So I feel like I'm maybe seeing like a little bit of root rot, maybe the beginning stages of it. So maybe it's good that okay, yeah, it definitely does have some root rot. Basically, if you're new and you've never experienced root rot is literally like the roots will just start to come off. If you can see that, you can pull on the roots and they will just like come off. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. So that's definitely a sign of root rot. There's other cases where the roots will just completely turn to mush, and that's a pretty severe case. So I feel like maybe I caught this kind of early because the roots aren't fully rotted. I'm just so annoyed. Okay, but it's not the end of the world. We can come back from root rot. What I'm gonna do now is trim any rot that I see. I really just wanna cry. Honestly, I blame this on the moss. I hate moss. I hate everything about moss. It always leads to root rot in my care, and I should have just known better. I want to listen to the grower who I bought this from, because she has hers in moss, and everybody does so well with moss, but not me. I just rot everything in it. Okay, so this is what we're left with. We have a lot of still good roots. I cut off mainly just secondary roots, like the roots that come off the long roots, if that makes sense. And now I guess I'm just gonna repot it. It's still really good in this pot size-wise, and I'm just gonna pot it up in like regular chunky soil and then maybe top it with moss. And here we have my soil just from my previous vlog with the charcoal and the perlite and the cocoa coir and orchid bark. I really like this mix. I think I'm gonna stay using charcoal because it is just a great way to add drainage. I have hope that this plant will make a comeback. I am going to, I don't even know if I should water it. I don't think I'm gonna water it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to wait a day to let the roots just kind of like chill out, and I will water it. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag and make sort of like a cheap broke man's greenhouse. I think is what I saw one time. And I mean, it's not really cheap. It's kind of like a hack. A planting hack. If you need a plant that might be infested with pests and you need to isolate it, just get a gallon bag, Ziploc bag, and put that sucker in there, and it's gonna get some nice humidity. And I think the humidity, the added humidity, and the fact that I'm not gonna water it for like a day or two will just be perfectly fine. So you already know I'm gonna be sharing updates with y'all on how this does. I really am just holding out hope for that new growth and that it'll come out beautiful and the plant will be great. I know I've heard other cases of people having luxuriance out in their living room just chilling, and I'm hoping mine will get to that point one day. I know it's still a baby, so maybe that's why it's just being a bit of a diva. Also, don't mind my wet stain on my shirt. I just saw that. I did the dishes, and apparently I do the dishes like my 9-year-old, so. Okay, now we're gonna move on to this jewel orchid. What is going on with you? Man, I don't even think I'm gonna unpot this. I think, oh well, hold up. Ooh! I just saw some bug in there. Ew, what are you? That was disgusting. Oh my gosh. Ugh. I don't even know what that was. Y'all, I hate bugs. I really, truly, truly hate bugs. I'm trying so hard to like them, especially because I'm in plants and people are always like, oh, look at this spider, it's so cute. And I'm just like, oh, my skin is crawling right now. Okay, I'm just going to carefully unpot this and hope I don't see anything else. Oh, look at that. It just came off. Like, no roots. It just came off. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Everything is going to be fine. I'm just going to propagate it. Now I have 2 babies to propagate. Alright, well, now I have this part. Yay! So now 1 jewel orchid becomes 3. I'm not even mad about it. What's happened to my verrucosum? I have 2 fully rooted verrucosum now, and then that other one in there that's a little bit sad. Don't even want to touch this soil. Just gonna try not to cry. Now, check on this verrucosum. This one, I really don't want to unpot it because I just potted it up. Honestly, I think this one's just gonna need time to acclimate to being into soil. The roots weren't as established as I usually do. Like, I usually wait longer for the root system to establish itself before I pot it up. But this one, I mean, it did have some decent roots, but I definitely should have waited longer. And this is a lesson learned. I need to follow my instincts. But the good thing is that the stem is still good, hopefully. And if anything, the leaves will die off and then the stem will the stem will produce more leaves. That's what I'm hoping. Who knows though, I probably rotted this one too. And now the amedrium, it doesn't need any water, so that's good. I just can't wait to see new growth out of this thing. Now that I know it has a root, I want to see some new growth. Come on, grow for me. I'm sure this one's great. I don't want to pull it out and disturb the roots again. So I'm just going to let it be. And if it declines, then maybe I'll check on it. But yeah, there we go. A little amedrium. Yeah. We will put luxuriance. Alright, so I'm going to get my spray bottle and spray that. But I like to blow air in it just so it's not like so up close to the bag, if that makes sense. This is just pathetic. Oh well, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. You're gonna be fine. You're amazing. You're beautiful. Now, as far as the jewel orchids, I've never propagated a jewel orchid before. The way that this stem feels, I don't even know if it'll propagate, but we're gonna try. I think I'm gonna stick it in perlite, in my perlite propagation tank. Propagate it like that. I am going to be putting out a perlite propagation video soon, like really soon, so be on the lookout for that if you want to know more about it. I'm not very hopeful for this thing though. Like, it literally is like Play-Doh almost. That's kind of what the stem feels like. It has nothing to it. It's probably gonna rot away, but we will try. We will try. These baby ones feel a lot better. The one that's rooted, actually, I think I'm probably going to, I think I'm going to stick it back in soil because it's already in soil and it's doing okay. So I just need to find a little baby pot for that. And then I have this other baby too that I'm going to stick in perlite as well. This one does feel a lot better than that other one. So I think these two babies will be fine if the mother dies. And then that album variegated monstera. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna water it because it's a little dry. And I don't know what it is about this plant. I think it's just a growth pattern that I am not crazy about. And it just requires so much. I feel like I can only grow it in a very humid environment, which is annoying. I don't want to get plants like that. I have, like the plants that I have, all do well without any extra humidity, any humidifiers, any extra like propping methods. If a plant can't survive in that sort of environment, then it's just not meant for me. I'm not trying to add more to my plant care routines and have to worry about like cleaning a humidifier every 3 days and using distilled water on it. And I don't know, maybe if I have like a cabinet or some sort of like enclosure, that'll be a lot easier to maintain. But for now, like I don't plan on getting anything else. So we'll see what happens. Oh, I do see some new growth there. Okay, well, that's a little bit better. I don't even know if you can see that, but there's a tiny little nubbin right at the top, so that's good. And I did end up soaking that moss from my propagation tank. Right now it is soaking in boiling water and just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, you know what I'm talking about. Just because I didn't want to, there was so much moss in that tank, and there still is a lot of moss. I asked a couple of friends and nobody really like had a definite answer for me if you could like treat moss and then reuse it, but I don't see why not. And I feel like that should definitely kill everything, right? So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't think like moss is used to hold retention, like water retention, and to stay moist, and I don't think boiling it will ruin it, so I think it should be fine. When I water my plants, I actually just used regular tap water. It's very rare that I'll use like bottled water. And sometimes I even bring my plants out when it's raining to get some water, but if it's just a normal watering day, I'm using tap water. I always fertilize with liquid dirt, and I have actually had the same pack of liquid dirt for over a year at this point, and I am not a light fertilizer. Like in the growing season, I'll use it probably every week, if not every other week. Liquid dirt is really awesome, and my plants have loved it. I haven't seen any like fertilizer burn or like nutrient deficiencies, so far it's been working really well. And I'll definitely be ordering another pack when this one runs out.
Anybody else get like random cleaning urges and organizing urges when it's midnight? I'm a night owl, not a morning person. No matter how hard I try, mornings are just really hard. So it is what it is. All the kids are asleep, and so that's why I'm kind of whispering. But as you saw, I organized and dusted these two shelves. I probably should have started at the top, but you know, sometimes you just do things and you don't think about it. It was dusty. So here's your reminder to go clean your plant shelves, because I don't even have actual shelves, they're wires, and it was dusty. Yeah, that was pretty gross.
Here we have my beautiful squamiferum. This is my newest plant I got last week, and I will link that video if you want to see me getting this plant. It has super furry, hairy petioles and stems. Look at that. So I asked you guys what would be a good name for it, because I felt like this plant needed a name, and there was a lot of good suggestions. The ones that I really loved was Bernadette, because she does have a little burning to her. The next one was Squidward, or I think Scholium, which is hysterical, absolutely hysterical. I know my husband would love that, but I had to go with Harry because How perfect is that? Like, we got the hairy legs and like hairy. It's so fitting. So thanks for the awesome plant name. And now I will just like cherish this plant forever. And if you ever hear me refer to Harry, my plant, you know who I'm talking about. Oh, I love it so much. So he's doing really well. Now for the last bit of this video, I am going to send a couple of plant packages out just to show you all like a quick brief rundown on how I ship plants. I literally pretty much save every single box that comes into my house, and anytime I do get packages that have some sort of like filling, I always save that. I've gotten quite creative with my packing lately. And I'm sending 2 packages, and the first one actually, I am trading a pup of my King Ethereum Vetii and this beautiful Moonlight Scindapsus. Actually, Leia, she doesn't own a Moonlight. I found out that she doesn't own one, so I'm going to send her some cuttings. And she's going to send me a cutting of her Splendid! So I'm excited about that. And then the other one I'm going to send to my friend Beth, and she's just going to get a little silver band Maranta plant that I had started because I know she wanted one and she was looking for one, and I was like, oh, I have an extra one. So in a turn of events, I messed up and I cut 2 of the leaves off my king, off the little pup. So now like this part has the roots and then this part's just trash. But I worked it out with Leia. She's a sweetheart, and I'm gonna propagate this to her, propagate this for her, and then send it to her later when it's ready. I'm so mad I did that. I don't even know how that happened. But for now, I'm just going to send her some Hoya cuttings and then that Moonlight. So I have like Hoya Bella for her, and then Caudata, and who's like so beautifully sun-stressed. Oof. And then Hoya Fichii. After this though, honestly, I think these are my last trades of the season because I have cut my plants back so much this season, which has been really good because, you know, I love a good plant trade, and that's how you get so many good plants for free. But I really just want to give my plants a chance to recuperate and grow and get ready for fall and winter, really just winter. Colder weather is right around the corner, and plants are going to start to slow down their growth and go dormant, and I don't want them to be recovering from being chopped. Anyways, so this is what I mean by saving everything. Like, I have some boxes. These aren't even all my boxes. And all of that stuffing and bubble wrap. I even have some foil from getting shipped plants in the cold season. So just a whole like bunch of stuff. I always ship a USPS. They let you use your boxes, whatever boxes you have. You don't have to use a priority box or a first class box. Just use whatever you have lying around. They don't care as long as it's paid for and labeled, obviously. So I'm just going to have this container. Usually I don't like to send Hoya in moss, but she lives in the desert and it's really hot there and here. So I think the Hoya are going to enjoy the environment, and I think that moss is definitely going to dry out. And just top it off, I burned holes into these things. This is literally just a sandwich container. I use any container, really any plastic container that I bring in the house, I use for plant mail or for plant propagation or like rehabbing a plant. It's amazing. It is like the best way to recycle any sort of like plastic you bring into your house. Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to just cover the Scindapsus Moonlight in some moss and then wrap some plastic around the bottom. So I just want to make sure the nodes are in sphagnum moss so they don't like completely dry out and wither away. I got this cute washi tape. Ugh, it's not focusing, but it's like Monstera pattern, and I just feel like it's very on brand. So I like to use it. It's so cute. And look at how cute that is. So that is done. Now we're just gonna find a box that'll fit it. And now the Maranta, I'm really nervous to send because it's a Maranta and it has like new growth, and I'm just worried that it's going to be like really crispy when I send it, because look at how pretty it is. This is a black band Maranta, so it's not really picking up on camera, but it has like black around the leaves. It gets more black the older the leaves get. You could kind of see it there, but it's a really pretty plant. I actually got cuttings off of my mother plant, and I made this one into a little baby, and it's so cute. I think what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna send it in the pot, which makes me even more nervous. I'm gonna cover the bottom in moss. Oh, I really hate sending potted plants. And I have some bubble wrap. Just going to wrap the bubble wrap around the base. Okay, I taped the crap out of it, as you can see, and there's no soil spillage, so I think that'll be good, and hopefully the Maranta won't get too mad. Okay, so the first one, I literally stacked so much polyfill in there, like this thing isn't gonna go anywhere. Reasons why I can never like do a plant shop or anything, because honestly, shipping plants just stresses me out. Next one is just like that. I kind of had to use duct tape because I ran out of packaging tape, but I'm gonna buy some before I send these off. And then I have this thing. I got it from a plant one day and I saved it, so I'm just gonna put it on top, and that should secure the plant inside, and everything should be nice and packed. And my last piece of advice is just to make sure that you send the plant priority. When you do trades, some people will send it overnight. I had somebody do that once for their trade. So just make sure, however you send the plant, as long as the minimum is priority, that you just discuss it with your trading friend, and you guys are on the same page. Shipping plants is stressful, but just try your best. I'm just gonna send these plants out, and that will wrap it up for today's vlog. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. I think in my next one I'm going to be putting together a giveaway box of cuttings that I'm gonna host a giveaway with a friend, and I want to get that started so I can start getting these cuttings rooting. I have no clue what sort of cuttings I'm gonna get, so just go follow me on Instagram and keep your eye out for that, because that's gonna be happening soon. And I will see you all in my next video. Me and Harry are hoping you all are staying safe, sane, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.